Hey guys, so if you heard my theory video on Lottie and the crystal that she probably has, here's where things get kind of funny, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I think it tracks, right? And it's going to have some paralleling here, so stick with me for a minute. Now, Misty goes looking for a package at Lottie's dad's house, and everyone just assumes she's using that as a decoy excuse to try and just get in the door. But if we're going to go back and talk about the last video with the X marks the spot and Lottie potentially having something of value she brought back from the forest, I believe Misty's looking for that. This is what she's looking for at Lottie's. She's making it seem like she's all invested in the murder, but there's something bigger at hand here, okay? Misty flushed Lottie out from her compound. She didn't know where she was, and she had been looking for her, making up things that she was in Switzerland, yada yada. That's why she manipulated Travis into calling Lottie so that she could get Lottie to the surface. You know, she needed to try and then use Natty. She manipulates the photos to make it look like there's a symbol. And I could go on, but here's my story with that. Misty gets everyone in the compound to get Lottie flushed out. Then things lead to Lottie dying, and now there's this crystal floating around out there. And nobody else knows about it. None of the Yellowjackets know about it. I think Walter might, and he's playing a cat and mouse game with Misty to get this thing. But isn't that funny if you think about it, that there's a crystal missing and only Misty knows about it? Does that sound funny? Does that sound familiar to you? Do you recall that? Maybe the girl that fell off the cliff and only Misty knew about crystal? Now that's where I go back to this, and I mean, it's maybe I'm drawing lines from A to D, and I'm missing B and C somewhere in there. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. There's something to that, and I'm just X marks the spot. Misty's ambitions to get Lottie, I can't really get past that. What her motivation was, and I think she's looking for something of value. Like I said, this is like a Sherlock story in the adult timeline. And typically in a Sherlock story, there's an item of value between Sherlock and Moriarty that's kind of in the midst, in the middle of everything. That's the end game. And you don't really know like what the angle is until you know it. But man, I've done some deductive reasoning on this stuff. I'm a big Sherlock fan and watched some things closely and motivations and whatnot. But I would love to hear what you guys think, if I'm crazy or not. Some people buy into some things that I say, and others just think I don't know, off my gourd. But please like, subscribe, and give me some feedback in the comments. Thanks, guys.